And sometimes mom's wrong. I mean, not often, but sometimes.
Most people in their 20s aren't lost.
They're just early.
That's right. Welcome to After the Bell. Conversations for young professionals figuring out what comes next without pretending to have it all figured out. I'm Nick Kaufmann Mamisashvili. Welcome to my office. Max. Hey, bud.
Nick,
Welcome to After the Bell. How are you, my friend?
I'm great. Thank you so much for having me on. This is awesome.
Of course, it's my privilege, honestly. I want to start this way. I want you to tell the people a little bit about yourself, maybe your age, where you're living, and maybe something that's new or good or fresh in your life right now.
Yeah. So I'm 25 years old. I recently moved to New York City. I'm living in Brooklyn, and kind of a fresh thing. I mean, other than being in a completely different place than Kansas City, I just started a new job, dog walking, and I feel like I'm just every day is a new, fresh day. So yeah, we're just out here learning.
That's awesome, man. Well, I would say welcome to New York, but I came to New York after you came to New York. So
Yeah.
I made this mistake the other day of telling someone who was a longtime New Yorker who had moved to Texas and then moved back, welcome to New York, as if it was the first time. I felt like such a dunce after a little bit more research, but I know you're crushing out there in Brooklyn. That's super exciting about the dog walking gig that you just freshly started. So what is that like? How is that treating you? What's your day-to-day look like?
I mean, honestly, it's probably the easiest, most fun job I've ever had, hands down. Because you have kind of your like we have an app called Time to Pet, and I just look at I have this person at 11:45 till 12:15. It's all like 30-minute to an hour to 15-minute increments of how much time you're going to spend with this animal. Sometimes, most of the time, it's dogs around like the financial district and West Village area in Manhattan. But we get cats. It's like I saw a Bengal cat that was on a walk on a leash the other day. And so I think that might be a new client because we gave him our card. So that would
That's
be kind of cool.
amazing.
But
That's awesome. And are you're like a dog lover through and through?
I like dogs, cats, most rodents, and I mean pretty much anything else you name. I love those animals.
Not
Like the birds especially are different compared to the ones back home. It's like these things have a different mind. Like they've been eating trash and they've been eating like human food for so long that it's like they're starting to become a little like psychotic human.
what surprised me about moving to New York is how many people have dogs, and not just like small little yippy dogs, but like huge dogs that require incredible amounts of brushing and shampooing, and like it's insane. I just I don't know, because most people live in apartments here. I don't know how people do it, how manage it. We actually turned over both our cat and our dog in Kansas City to friends before moving here because we knew that we wouldn't be able to manage it with a 6-month-old at the time. I don't know how other people do it, because sometimes I see like people holding a dog in one arm and a baby in
And
another arm.
baby, yeah, it's so common. It's honestly crazy. I mean, I have a lot to say on the topic that I probably shouldn't say, but yeah, it's insane that people are. I mean, I was walking a Great Dane the other day, in which I love Great Danes and like Mastiffs and those giant dogs, but I just feel like there's a difference between that and like a German Shepherd, where German Shepherd, that is a dog that needs exercise and you need constant like go go go. With the Mastiff and a Great Dane, it's understandable. Like they don't like to move that much anyways. But in a place that is so crowded and you don't really have any fresh trees or like no forests or no yard to run around in, it's kind of sad that we trap the animals here. But at the same time, it's like the parents a lot of the time don't have kids, and those are the children. I mean,
And yeah, that's so true. Yeah, I love animals too. I haven't had much experience with birds except for, like I was super into bird watching when I was a kid.
yeah, me
But
too.
Yeah, but other than like, I love animals, especially dogs. I wasn't a cat lover for a long time, and then we had this amazing cat, Josie, and she just such a snuggler and just was the best. His
What breed of dog did you have at home?
Brownie is like a border collie with this tiniest little bit of Australian Shepherd. She had one blue eye, one brown eye, and on the blue eye, her fur was white, and on the brown eye, her fur was brown, and then it kind of like dappled
That's
all over her
cool.
body. So pretty, such a sweet bird.
Yeah.
So the day in and day out of your gig as a young professional, this is your thing right now. Like, are you showing up at people's houses who they're doing their own professional jobs and you're just caring for their animals so that way these animals aren't lonely during the day and they're getting proper care?
I mean, New York is full of just busy, busy, busy people. I mean, like you and me, we have our different things going on, but we're still busy. And it's all, I mean, go, go, go here. And with a lot of the clients that I've met so far, everybody has a very different schedule. And so a lot of them work from home, but for some reason aren't able to take their dog out or like just provide the amount of attention that they need, or they just have a little bit more money to spend and they want somebody to be with their dog, which I completely get too. But yeah, with this, I'm also starting like a kind of a social media marketing for the company I'm with called Francis and Friends. And so I'm slowly just getting the social media accounts and starting to do a little bit more research on kind of our like customer target or like the consumer market, examining like sort of the West Village and financial district, kind of what the usual dog owner or pet owner in general sort of looks like there, what their needs are, and just how we can reach them. And I think social media is a big player in that, especially around here. Word of mouth. I mean, just walking on the street, it's the biggest network in the United States of like you walk down the street and if you say one thing to a person, you get them talking. And I mean, you made a friend right there. And you can say, hey you, hey buddy. I feel like with guys at least, it's easy. You can say bro, champ. My dad started saying captain and
Captain.
yeah, like captain.
Wow.
What's up, captain? And
Like to anybody or to you?
no, no, to like random people, like workers at the house. He calls all of them captain. And I think that's a great, I mean, hey, it's endearing. You feel like you have a little bit more power when you hear that. Also, one thing I noticed in New York, everybody calls another guy, like all the guys call other guys boss.
Boss.
And
Dude, I was just gonna say the same thing. I just called you dude, but yeah,
everywhere.
like boss. I love being called boss. It makes me
Yeah.
feel so like powerful.
You're right, doesn't it? Yeah, I agree. Like that's a great one. And they all say like boss, boss, boss. It's like a boss, not not boss,
Yeah. They look
boss.
you right in the eyes when they say it too, like you feel like am I the king of the world? Or what the it certainly
It's
makes you feel
awesome.
special. I mean, I think that's also like what happens when you say someone's name too, like when you remember their name, especially after long
Completely.
term kind of separation period. Man, names are just they're so important. All right, Captain Max. So you were living in Los Angeles before you moved to Brooklyn.
Hmm.
What's one NYC only thing that's caught your attention?
There are too many, but I would start with the train system. Everybody talks about that, and that is such a pillar to most conversations that I've noticed. Like, I guess there's a lot of parallels with Los Angeles and New York in that aspect of travel and how long it takes to travel to one place or like how bad the traffic is. But in New York, it's not about like how bad the traffic is. It's what bad thing happened on the public transit. Saw a hornet eat pastrami the other day, and it was chomping down on this pastrami. I'm like, I didn't know insects ate meat.
You know, one of the things that I've noticed is that all baristas say cheers after they give you your drink.
That is like one of my pet peeves.
You don't like
Weirdly,
it?
I don't like it. You do?
I love it.
Really?
It makes me feel like I'm back in England, but
Yeah.
they don't have English accents.
Really?
I
They
think
all
it's
say
fantastic.
cheers? That's
Yeah, I mean, it's
great.
like, "Cheers, mate," you know?
Yeah. I don't know how to respond to it because I don't say, do you say cheers back?
Oh, yeah, I'm gonna give you an
You do?
example right here. You ready for this?
Okay. Yeah.
I got my Olipop, a little classic root beer. Cheers, Captain.
Cheers. Well, now that's a cheers. Yeah, but that's like an American cheers.
Yeah.
But how do you respond when they say like when you say thank you and they say, do you say cheers back?
I just leave it. Like, I'm like, they're New Yorkers, let them do their thing, and it's like, it doesn't, doesn't bother me or anything. I've heard it quite frequently. I'm not much of a coffee drinker, but I go coffee shops occasionally. Brooklyn is super into this new drink now where you like take espresso and ice and you put it in a blender or not a blender, but you make it foamy and then you mix coconut water and this like foamed espresso together over ice. I can't remember what it's called. Someone will take me to task on this, but it's actually super refreshing and delightful. And so I made it at home the other day. It's so true what they say. Everything begins in New York and then migrates toward the middle. I have friends that are baristas and coffee makers and coffee producers, and man, they're gonna love this trend, I think. I'm sure they know about it like months ago before I knew about it, but it's like a New York thing too, is like it starts here and it migrates
That's
west.
cool. Yeah, I have not tried that yet. I need to. That
And
sounds
so I'll make
so
you one.
good.
When you come over,
Please.
I'll make you one. Yeah.
Deal.
Okay. So that's the other thing is like, so these baristas, these coffee makers, like they're creating new things. Like what are you creating right now?
What am I creating? Well, along with just kind of the marketing plan and social media stuff that I've been playing around with Francis and friends, I do a lot of music. So, well, one of my buddies who's in Ohio, in Cleveland, he is in a couple different like country western bands, and he sent me a kind of scratch take of one of his original songs or a couple of them and wanted me to kind of mix it down and make it sound pretty and it's just so cool to hear like my buddy who played stand up bass growing up never thought it would really be anything, just kind of a hobby in school, and then he goes to college for it and is a performance major, graduates, and then decides I don't want to do performance for stand-up bass anymore, like classical stuff, and he goes and joins a country band and gets a bunch of tattoos. And I mean he's different, but he's the
He's a
same
certified
dude.
jelly roll now.
Oh yeah, for
Yeah.
sure, except no face tattoos luckily.
Oh, okay.
But he's also, his name's Max too. So we've always understood each other pretty well. But yeah, I just started like kind of producing his stuff. And that's really cool. And then just like with our friend Andrew, I've always done a lot of various projects with him. A lot of my own personal like stuff that I songwrite, a lot of rap, bedroom pop esque music, and then doing a lot of EDM weirdly since my roommate, my current roommate, he's really into techno music, and it got me sort of inspired. And I'd never listened to techno music, and so I started listening one night and I was like, this isn't bad. And it's like, but I could do this really easily. And so I just started making a bunch of songs and sent it over to Andrew. He sent it back and he's like, dude, this is the coolest thing I've ever heard. And we've
That's
just
so
been,
Andrew. That's
yeah.
so everything is hype. Everything is awesome.
Right.
You're talking about Andrew, the Andrew that's in Los Angeles, and you guys are been best friends for so long. And
Yeah.
for him to say that about something you're producing, like first of all, he's gonna say that because he's in your corner, but also
Yeah.
you're such a talented musician that I have no doubts that is actually legitly so good.
It's okay. It's not so good. It's a lot better when Andrew and
Yeah, he
then
has such a skill too. But
oh
you guys share
yeah.
that. I mean, that's why I think you connected so well and what you kept vibing on was just being able to feed off each other and
Yeah.
use your skills to push each other. It kind of reminds me of like John Lennon and Paul McCartney a little bit. You guys just like
Dang.
stretching each other, you know?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
someday, hey, hopefully we'll have a legacy like that. Yeah.
So okay, so your energy is going toward music when you're not putting your energy toward your job.
Yeah.
So, I've been thinking a lot about fascination
Mhm.
lately, because I think you truly need to be like fascinated with something in order to dig deep into it and just
Yeah.
completely lose yourself in it. I think as a musician, I mean, I used to be a professional musician myself, and as musicians, definitely it's easy to get lost in it. But and I thought about it this way, like fascination is like having a fascination about something is like the thing you'd stay up late at night doing, even when you're tired.
Right.
You know, even when the best thing for you is to go to bed. And I think you might have heard this before, but often you'll get asked when you're like coming out of high school, going into college, or coming out of college, which I mean was not too long ago for you. What are you passionate about? What are you gonna do? And people always mean do as in job, like what's gonna pay the bills, which is respectable. At the same time, I think if you run down your passion, you're gonna run out of steam
I
because it
think.
really needs to be not a passion, but a fascination. The thing
Right.
that you just want to keep exploring, because I think you could be passionate about a bajillion things, but you just don't have enough time in the day to like chase down everything, you know?
Right.
But if you're fascinated by something, it becomes this like engine that drives you even when you're exhausted, even when you like are struggling to pay the bills, even when relationships are falling apart around you. It's like this thing that like you just can't stop digging into and giving time and credence to, like
Yeah.
even when, you know, things are going sideways. So does that like resonate with you? What would you say is your kind of driving fascination?
Yeah. I would say at the moment, I'm still exploring that, and I've been journaling and writing down a lot of my thoughts a lot more recently. And I mean, since moving to New York, kind of my whole thing was, I mean, for pretty much the past year, I've just been saying right now I'm a professional learner and I want to learn with whatever I'm doing and to really reflect on all of it and try to kind of immerse myself at the same time as learning more about who I am and what I love and what I'm good at. And I feel like slowly been able to kind of connect the dots with that. And I love people. I love like getting to know people for the most part. I mean, I've also like realized I do have an extent of how much I can take, as we all do. Was working in a bagel shop. Well, I still work at this bagel shop called the Bagel Smith, and it's in the bagel shop on Bedford is called the Bagel Smith in Bushwick. Or no, it's in Williamsburg, but it's on Bedford. There's a lot of bees.
So you're double dipping. You've got this new gig and then you got the bagel thing. So you're doing the
Yeah,
New Yorker thing. After I get off work, I go to do more work.
more or less. I would say like my week is a lot more relaxed now since I was doing the Bagel Smith like I mean 40, 50 hours a week and just I mean like 6:30 till 2 o'clock every day. I was just worn out because I didn't get much sleep since I just worked at a candy shop at night and then ultimately quit the candy shop, started just bageling, and then was dog walking on top of the bagel. And now I'm like, let's just calm it down because I mean, I know rent's a lot, but also your mental well-being kind of matters a little bit more and exploring this giant city that you can't explore in only like 2 hours a day. Like you need a lot more time. I think the dog walking thing is going to be a lot better with balancing my schedule.
Yeah, it sounds
But
like it.
yeah, I would say just kind of going back to your question, like the Bagelsmith really opened my eyes to how I impact people. Um
How so?
and I noticed like in the mornings during the weekdays that people would come in expecting me and they would kind of rely on me for their morning motivation. And since I'm like all kind of bright and happy and especially in the mornings, I love the mornings, especially when it's like dark out and you see the sunrise and that just hypes me up. And like and especially like being in a place that's serving breakfast or I mean not just breakfast but bagels, you're starting somebody's day and you're the first thing they see and you're the one who's giving them coffee and a lot of coffee, and I've gotten a lot of compliments on just how I am with people, and it's just awesome to see like your impact of like you might not even notice that you are being so kind to other people and that like people are impacted by how you are and just your personality. It's it's so important even in a giant city to be yourself. And people notice that. And the more you're yourself, the more you're going to find what you're supposed to do or your group or these other opportunities that God's leading you to. Because there's so many opportunities and so many things to do that it's one person can't do all of it. We just got to get up and do. And that's what my mantra is, just to do. Like I just do. If you have nothing to do and you're sitting on your phone or you're sitting on your computer watching a movie, it's like, well, yeah, maybe finish the movie depending on how good it is. But just go outside. If the sun's shining, I need to be outside. And that's one thing, and this is kind of more my vulnerable part, is I'm really bad at that, at getting myself to get the will to finish things and to get out. And I'm great at getting out and seeing the world, but it's like talking to somebody. Like I'm amazing, like my friends will say this, but I'm amazing at like starting a conversation and getting in a 15-minute conversation. But then after that, it's like, okay, that was good. And then I go back home and I watch my movie and, and that's it. And so what I'm trying to get out of like this next chapter is just the more follow through. Learn, obtain that information, and follow through on the task that you set on your journal, in your mind, wherever. Finish that. And then see how you feel and write about that and see the finished product. Because I feel like, I mean, what's the point of starting something if it can't be finished?
Yeah, I mean, you said so many powerful things there. I think if any young professionals are listening to you, just like passionately riff right there on the things that are important to you and what you think is good for mental space and for being successful and what it is you put your mind to, is like, I think the biggest thing that young professionals are struggling with is focus.
Hmm.
I don't think it's just you. I think you're not siloed in this. I think there are so many things that are available to us, especially with our phones and our computers. And like in New York, you go to Times Square and like you can watch TV for the whole day if you want, by standing there. And it's true, even go out to like a bar with your friends. Like it's so easy to get distracted by the TVs that are behind the bar. So I think focus is so important. And what's really interesting is really ramping up in terms of what it offers people in the workforce and the kinds of jobs that it's going to leave for everyone else to do. But there's like a partnership that really needs to be happening. And I don't know how familiar young professionals who might be listening to this are with AI, but to your point, yeah, finish the movie, but I would say that extra episode of binging Breaking Bad or whatever it is you're doing, like it might cost you $10,000 a year from now when you're like trying to get a promotion at your job. So like there is urgency there. I don't want to create anxiety in anyone because I think we already have enough anxiety just swirling around us. But like if you don't have an urgency to get focused and to partner and collaborate with AI and to improve yourself every day, or to either like try to surpass 15 minutes of like real engagement to 16 minutes, you're just totally going to fall by the wayside and you're not going to achieve the dreams that you are fascinated by. So that would be kind of my encouragement.
AI, exactly as you said, is a partnership. And we need to be able to figure out, instead of using it like Google or just looking up questions or whatever, we
Yeah.
need to know how to use the prompts correctly, of just being concise. And there is a job that it's supposed to do and you kind of guide it and programming it that way, then it's so much easier to just not be on your phone instead of being on your phone and doing whatever, you can be outside and see how different people live and hear other people's voices and listen to new conversations. I love like listening to people speak Spanish so that I can like try to pick up on what they're saying. So trying to relearn Spanish. I'm horrible at speaking, but I can pick up on like little things of like they're running 15 minutes to this and they have to go to this quinceañera and like, but
I
it's
love that,
so,
man. I can relate to you too because
yeah.
I'm also been on Duolingo, like just trying to crush Spanish every single day. And I've gotten pretty disheartened because sometimes I'll get to the end of the day and like the baby's just not going down, and I'm like, I've got 10 minutes before midnight and I'm gonna lose my streak, and I'm like I'm trying to build the habit. And that's the thing is I think people don't realize there was a study that came out that showed it actually takes 66 days to build a habit. So like if you find yourself, you do the classic, oh, I got a New Year's resolution, I'm gonna get fit, I'm gonna work out, I'm gonna eat healthy, whatever it is. And then like 3 weeks later, you stop. Well, it's not because you're a failure or because you're like you don't have enough grit. It's because it's biologically like programmed into you to give it 66 days minimum in order to become a habit. Like you need that. And so if you are just willy-nilly, staying on your phone and like watching shows and getting distracted by YouTube and all these things, like to your point earlier, you need to become the person of action. Instead of just like learning, maybe you are super into learning, which I'm super into, like with the Spanish. You just learn and you learn and you learn and you learn. But if you never go to the bagel shop and order a bagel in Spanish, like, what's the point? If you don't use it, it's never going to turn out to be useful to you. So here's my recommendation to young professionals everywhere. Learn something, and before you learn something else, execute that thing you learned in at least one way. Then you can move on to the next thing.
Yeah, that's a great tidbit. Yeah. And I feel like, yeah, I'm just trying to do that every day with whatever the day presents. But yeah, just create a habit that will go super far.
It's hard. It's hard. It's so easy to get distracted.
Yeah.
I mean, clearly, I think the biggest hurdle for young professionals right now is focus, and
Mm-hmm.
you've hit the nail on the head. What kinds of things other than devices have you seen kind of steal people's focus?
Mm.
People your age.
Yeah. I don't want to say it, but it's like relationships, I feel like are pretty taxing on the mid 20-year-olds that I've been talking to in a unhealthy relationship. And I feel like that's so common. When you're in your mid 20s, I mean, I'm just getting out of a relationship and I'm trying to relearn like how to do that and how to be single, which is so sad because I'm only 25. Yeah. But um yeah, just I feel like finding a relationship where there are bounds and they're respected both ways, that is I mean so much more healthy. And like the kids that I've talked to, I mean, when I say kids, I mean like 20-year-olds my age, that some of them have super healthy relationships and they've been going on for like 7 years plus, and they'll probably get married, which is awesome. I have not experienced that yet. So I'm just gonna keep doing what I'm supposed to do, keep letting God guide me to the next opportunity, keep playing music because I love that, and keep just doing life how I like because I have nobody telling me what to do right now other than my mom. And sometimes mom's wrong. I mean, not often, but sometimes. So you just got to live your life. And yeah, yeah. Like I would say like 85% of the time she is right. And you tell her she's right 99% of the time. I feel like my mom just she's almost 62. And this is not the nicest thing to say. Like I feel like once they hit 60, a little part of like the smart brain is removed and they're just crazy. There's like a lot of crazy going on. And it's beautiful and she's doing exactly what she needs to do right now and she's literally the best person.
You know what that is though? We can name that actually. You know what that is? That's a reconciliation with the end of life. I think when you hit 60, because
Really?
my dad and mom are going through this too. They're in their mid 60s.
Yeah.
Um and my dad has cancer. So his is even like, more threatening.
Yeah.
But I think we can name that. I think that is like there's called like a second life transition. And the first like big one is like when you are put out into the world, like, holy smokes, I'm an adult and there's like no
Yeah.
safety really here.
Right.
The next big one is, yeah, when you turn 60 and you have to reconcile with my life will come to an end and I want a legacy and I've been
Right.
building one, but like I don't know if I'm satisfied with what I built. So I better like get on my horse and recreate myself. I've had to have that conversation with my dad like every month since we got the news about getting cancer. Is like, Dad, you got to recreate yourself every day. You got to wake up every day focused on recreating yourself because like otherwise you just start swimming in all this, this madness that you're talking about. Hyper focused on the end rather than hyper focused on living a really beautiful life right now. And I would say that young professionals could learn something from that, the boomers, if you will, in that way is like you should get hyper focused now because you're not promised tomorrow. I'm not saying get anxious and stress yourself out and just spread yourself thin. I'm saying get hyper focused in one area, shoot down that lane. You're so young that you can change on a dime into something else, and you have all the time in the world to get going on something else.
Exactly. Yeah. My mom's dad, he's almost 90 and he still, I mean, runs a couple miles a day. He bikes 8 miles a day. He has his whole routine. He goes and sees all of his friends in the nursing homes and like wherever they are. And he's still teaching, like, is teaching choral music and it's crazy, but it's so funny to see how like their personalities turn into my parents. So like how my grandpa's personality of being go 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 all the time and not really taking a second to enjoy the moment. It's just funny to see like my mom will call me or now she calls me. I used to have for the past while I've been calling my parents a lot and especially after like the breakup and everything and so I'm like the other night, this is just a few nights ago, I called my mom and I was like, "Hey mom, like I just wanted to check in." She's like, "Oh, yeah, we're watching a movie and or we're doing something." And I said, "Oh, okay. Well, like we can talk later." And she's like, we just talked yesterday." I'm like, "Yeah, like really? Like you're now upset for me calling too much?" And she's like, "Well, I mean, you don't have to call all the time." Like, dude, mom, like, out of anybody in my life, like, I thought I could call you anytime, and then I hung up on her, and she calls back, like, 5 minutes later, and she's like, "I'm so sorry, honey, I didn't mean any of that, and, like, you can call whenever you want," and and I
That's
just
just like a realization that like parents are people too, right?
yeah,
It's the same thing like when you see your teacher out at the grocery store for the first time and you're like, you exist outside of the school?
which I know they have plenty of time to do their own thing, so they can take 5 minutes to talk to me, but who cares?
That's the 1%.
Yeah, exactly. There's a couple. Yeah, it's funny, like, my grandpa, he actually just called before this call, and his conversations usually last, like, 2 minutes or 2 to 5 minutes, and usually they're awesome conversations, but he does like to do his own thing, and he's, I mean, always has something to do. I mean, he's just constantly on the go, which is amazing, but my mom is inheriting a lot of that, and she's a little bit more difficult to talk to on the phone now because it's like after you reach a certain point of like the regular introduction,
Yeah.
there's not much else to say. And she's like, I need something or someone more entertaining.
If you truly think that your mom is kind of similar to your grandfather, then you also it would make sense to think that she will probably become more like your grandfather, which is the sense that, like, yes, he will talk to you for a shorter amount of time, but it will be meaningful and you'll cherish it and you love it and he'll make time for you. So, like, I think eventually she'll kind of swing in that direction, but she's at the beginning of her journey, just like you're at the beginning of your journey and I'm at the beginning of the journey of being in New York. And yes, I think that's like good perspective to keep.
Completely. Also, she started as a personal trainer at her home gym in Kansas City.
I think people who are busy like that are trying to make sure that they don't lose themselves in a sense of like purpose and meaning. I think we're all craving some type of purpose and meaning. So I think a lot of us don't do it very well, especially in retirement, because all of a sudden you worked for, let's say, 40 years, like my parents in the medical field, high octane, high energy, long days, tired nights, always serving others, always having to like take test to stay current with the things. And then all of a sudden, all of that goes away.
Right.
And then you go like, well, what do I have? Not only do you go, what do I have? But then you go, who am I? And I cannot like say this enough. You are not your job. You might be really great at your job, but you are not your job. And people might get frustrated when they hear that because I say like, what are you talking about? I love being a doctor. And if I had the choice to do it all over again, I would choose doctor all over again. I'm saying that's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying that you're not amazing at what you do, but what you do is not who you are. And what I mean by that is you bring something to being a doctor that someone else isn't bringing because
Mhm.
someone else isn't you. You bring you to being a doctor. You bring you to being a dog walker. You bring you to being a stay-at-home dad. You bring you to fill in the blank. So I think it's just like really essential that first, before you just like busy yourself with things that is going to cause you to be unfocused when you need to be hyper focused, especially in this economy and this workforce, the key is to understand who you are, where you're coming from, and what advantages, what talents, what positivity, what benefit you bring to anything, because that's who you are.
Yeah, exactly. And we all have like our own kind of blue ocean strategy, like something that separates us that
Yeah.
nobody else can really touch because you have your own, I mean, you are you and we're all ourselves and we're all so similar yet so different.
What would you say to a young professional who's like, okay, I hear you, but there's somebody doing what I am fascinated by, and I can already tell you they have it more together than me, and they're going to do it better than me. I can't be the best at it, especially if I stay me. Like, what would you say to somebody who's having that conversation in their head?
Yeah, I would say well, one, don't compare yourself because you're not that person and you will never be that person. And you probably don't want to be that person. And like, I'm never going to be Hans Zimmer and I will never be Jimi Hendrix. But ultimately, that is a good thing because I'm Max Zimmerman and I've worked at a bagel shop. I've worked at Dick's Sporting Goods. I went to University of Kansas. Like I'm me. I was in a fraternity, yet I was a choir kid. Like there's so many different aspects of you that make you you that nobody can copy but you. And
Mm.
don't you want to strive to be like the coolest and the best person you can be? Because that's all that's written in your story that God is literally writing right now or has already written. I think that's the most beautiful part of life is that we are all so individual and we get to experience this reality out of these lenses. And like Nick, you get to experience your life out of being Nick. You get to be yourself, and I think that is a gift right there. It's a gift, and the present is a gift, and we need to enjoy that. I would say to somebody who is trying to if they're just looking at somebody and saying, "Hey, I that's what I wanna do, but I will never be enough."
Mm.
Well, 1, you are enough. write down all the different weird things you could do to differentiate yourself and try it out and be weird, be yourself, be unique. You don't know like what's going to come next. You don't know when you're going to have a kid or when you found your wife or like there's just so much to be grateful for within
Yeah.
the present.
Yeah, I agree. I love it. It's so fun, just being around you because you just get so passionate, and I can relate so much. I've known you for a long time, and it's been super fun and to know you. But we've had some really neat moments across our history where I have been so filled with gratitude. One for how kind you are to everyone, how you present yourself to people, and befriending people, the way in which you go out of your way to invite people into the inside jokes and the camaraderie. Just focus on being the right person, which I think is also what you're saying now. It's like, and I think part of where you're coming from and your morals and your guidance and your spirituality is you need to find ways to be grateful every single day, because if you can root yourself in gratitude, then you can move forward and get out of your own head. And that's the other thing I would say too, is like I think a lot of young professionals, the biggest demon or battle is between our own ears. Like you gotta be the biggest believer in yourself if you're gonna be successful. You can't, you said it great earlier. You said like you shouldn't be comparing yourself to others. You shouldn't be judging yourself up against anybody else. Like you need to do you. You need to do what you feel called to. You need to do what you're fascinated by,
Right.
and you give it as much hypervigilance as you possibly can. And then take your proper rest. Get outside, open up your solar panels, and soak up the sun and get recharged. Seeing as how you're in like a season of establishing yourself in the biggest city in the United States, I wanted to ask you like what's something that represents where you are right now? Like it could be a music, it could be a coffee shop, it could be a park, it could be a dog. I don't know. Like what's something that is
Hmm.
kind of rooting you and representing where you are in this season?
I would say, I mean, there's so many different things. I usually like to kind of compare myself to the seasons because I'm constantly morphing, I feel like. But right now, for some reason, right when you asked that question, I thought of this dog that I've been sitting. His name's Charlie, and he looks and acts like my dog at home, Remy, and he's a golden doodle, and he's just super high energy, but just doesn't have, unfortunately, the home life that he needs. Just because he needs activity and he needs to get out and see the world, and he's so excited when he does, and I feel very like I relate to him a lot with that of going back home and seeing just a really empty hallway and not much to do, and being alone in a sense. But when you're outside and when you realize that, oh wait, I do have friends and I do have stuff going on, and I would say that yeah, I'm in the season of Charlie right now. Yeah, that I have that energy and that passion, and I think it's just the constant dedication and establishing those habits, as you said, like just really honing in on that and allowing myself quiet time and allowing myself the time I need to be myself.
It's almost like giving yourself an opportunity.
Yeah,
It's almost like you're seeing in Charlie releasing of yourself into the wild, if you will.
right.
I like that.
Completely.
That's
Yeah.
beautiful.
And he's like also the most precious dog. He's a golden doodle. He's
Ooh, man,
half a
that is
golden
so
retriever.
you.
Yeah, I know.
You got
It,
golden doodle
yeah.
energy for sure.
Somebody actually my boss at the dog walking company, she just called me a golden retriever today.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I said, "Well, thank you."
Max, I want to begin to wrap this up. It's been such an honor to share this time with you. Thank you so much for being vulnerable. Thank you so much for being thoughtful. Thank you for sharing your passion. I want to end with this final question. If someone your age feels behind right now, what would you say to them?
Hmm. For one, you're not behind at all. You're not even close to behind. I would say that just take your time because I mean, even though we don't have much time on this earth, things develop and things move at its own pace. So allow yourself to move at your own pace because there's nobody other than yourself who's judging that. And um wherever the future pushes you to is ultimately where you're supposed to be. I didn't think I was going to be in a bagel shop at 25 years old with a marketing degree almost 3 years after college. But God led me there. And God led me to all these different musicians, artists, random people that I met that are now friends that I've gone out with and like people that I mean, I talk to on a semi-regular basis. And so there's always a plan in whatever comes. And it's like, you're not going to be, I mean, even in 50 years, you might not be where you want to be. Like my mom's still figuring out her true passion and she's getting closer. And I think that's the beauty of life is that it's just a journey. But you got to enjoy it while it lasts because it's pretty freaking cool. Like, I mean, I wouldn't be able to say a year ago that I would be living in the most populated city in the United States and walking on the Brooklyn Bridge and being able to see the high rises that I see every day and get to experience every type of culture that our world pretty much has to offer, like in multiple neighborhoods. I mean, there are no words because this is exactly where I need to be to become a better Max. And to be a better Max, I need to be more culturally aware and interested. And I want to pass that on to like, if I am to have children someday, I want them to understand like, yeah, Max is really freaking cool because he's experienced a lot, but also there's a message in that we're all created within God. We're all created with God's light. And everybody has light in them. And it just takes a special individual to see that in everybody. And so you got to just take your time and just keep being you. And good things are gonna happen.
Really, what I'm hearing in what you're saying and in your encouragement to others is, trust the process, remain open to others in the process, keep putting yourself out there, and be your biggest believer in yourself. And it'll work out. There's people who've got you back. Find your people in your corner and continue to groom those relationships.
Completely.
Before we jump off, I want to plug the importance of mentorship real quick. Artis Stevens, the CEO of Big Brothers Big Sisters of America, he has data showing that 1 in 3 kids in the U.S. do not have a positive mentor in their lives. And kids with mentors are more likely to go to college, stay out of jail, and earn higher salaries than their peers. A lot of people don't even have someone in their corner. Max, you have me,
Thank
my
you,
friend.
Nick. You got me too.
I appreciate that, man. Thank you so much. Max, it was great to be with you. I'm glad you asked me to be your mentor. I feel privileged and honored. If any of you are searching for a mentor, you can stop because you can request a free introductory call with me through my website, afterthebellnyc.com. Max, we'll talk soon, buddy. Cheers, everyone.